Okay, we're going to do the G5, G6 loop. It's a flat gap. It's a nice loop. I do this almost every time I come up here. Sometimes I do it in this direction, sometimes I do it in the other direction. I think it's actually more fun going in the other direction. Some trucks through here today. I saw a couple trucks come up. Gas workers. Can you imagine this is your commute every day? I thought they were the windmill operators, but they're big natural gas, well, not big, but a natural gas facility up here to the right. I'd love to get a tour sometime. How they get the natural gas out of the ground. I think those tanks that I see are to get all the byproducts out of the gas. I believe that, you know, when the gas comes up, it's not a pure gas, it's got mist in it. Alright, so it's probably got mixed in with some oil and other petroleum products. I don't know, benzene and Lord knows what else. So they probably have a process to get rid of that liquid. But I can't imagine this being your commute every day. Sure I'd want to do it in a pickup truck. It's got to beat the shit out of it. I think I'd rather do it in a side-by-side. I've actually seen an 18-wheeler driving on this once. It had a big tank on the back. Not one of those full tankers, but it was probably a 30-foot long tank, something like that, on the back of a of a 18-wheel truck. It's Trail 22 right there. fossil. Never know it's going to catch the corner of your eye as you zip by. There's fossils up here, which makes sense. I mean, there's coal and natural gas and oil. There's that natural gas facility up there. I rode up there once. It's all blocked off. Can't see it with the grass growing up. The pressure relief valve going off. Letting pressure out. I was trying, the reason I went up there, I was trying to find a way around this section up here. So this hill isn't too bad, but up here used to be a mud pit from side to side. So now it's only in certain spots, but when I first started riding, that was a mud pit from side to side, and you really didn't want to get stuck in it. It was nasty. And so I looked for a way around it. I thought maybe if I went up around through that natural gas processing plant, I could get around it, but I was skunked. I thought I saw something go running by. Something black, I don't know. There wasn't a panther. What I might do today is wash my motorcycle when I get home. And that'll leave me free for Wednesday to maybe take a road trip somewhere. Reading on Facebook, there was somebody who was talking about a natural bridge, a natural rock formation, but the cool thing about it is they actually made a road over it. So they used the natural bridge to get over the river. They just kind of made a road over it so you can drive over the natural bridge. And they said a lot of people don't even know that they're doing it. They just think it's a regular steel bridge. So I thought that might be pretty cool to check out. So I need to go on Google Earth and see if I can find it. I think it's up in Newport, so it's really two ways to get there. One way is through the Smokies, which would be a nice drive. Wouldn't be bad at all, except for it's freaking peak tourist season. So let me tell you, you don't want to be going through the Smokies. I mean, I would go early before the tourists woke up, but there'd be a few of them out there. Some of them get up early. And the problem with the tourists going through the Smokies is if they're driving along and they see a turkey or a squirrel, or God forbid if they see a bear, they will literally stop in the middle of the road. They don't pull over to the side of the road. They stop in the middle of the road, jump out with usually their cameras are either their cell phones or their laptops. I've seen like a tablet. I've seen these people running after bears with their tablet out, taking pictures. So I end up having to, sometimes it's tough to pass them. They're in the middle of the road. So I try to avoid the Smokies from May through September. And then I avoid them at the peak leaf season. So from the end of September through the end of November, I avoid it. I've actually never been through there when it's peak leaf season. I imagine it's a zoo. I used to go through I think it was the Green Mountains in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. I used to do that during leaf season. And when I was 16, 17, 18, it was a beautiful ride. You could pull over to an overlook and check out the covered bridges with the leaves changing color. It was really nice. And then it started getting more and more crowded. And I think it was the very last time I went, it was bumper to bumper. Tour buses and RVs. Every overlook was completely packed. You just had to drive through. There was no parking. So I told the girlfriend at the time, take one last view. This is it. And that was probably, man, I don't know, maybe 30 years ago. 25 years ago. I haven't been back since. I guess I just don't have the patience to sit in line idling in my car. So being that I live close to the Smokies, I can plan it out. It's not like I'm staying over or anything. I can actually be at the boundary of the Smokies in Townsend in probably 45 minutes on a weekday. You know, if I go on a Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday morning. And what's nice is I'm pretty much got the the Smokies to myself. Me and maybe just a couple wildlife photographers, and they don't bother me. They're kind of pull over the side of the road and take their big lenses with tripods and take pictures of the elks and the bears. It's getting spooky. It's the family from Ohio that's it's got a whole brood of kids, you know, and they see a squirrel on the side of the road. They pull over and they got to unstrap all the kids. You know, meanwhile, out there in the middle of the road. I think there are times, I thought that there was an accident, and I come around the bend and there's 4 or 5 cars in the middle of the road with their flashers on. I said, oh my God, was there an accident? Did somebody die? And I look and they're all chasing a frickin' bear into the woods. Their cell phones out. Which is really not a smart thing to do. So I lay on the horn and drive by them. Try to scare the bear away. That's pretty dangerous, stopping in the middle of the road to chase after a bear. It's got idiot written all over it. I mean, I've been down Florida before, down through the Everglades, and there's, 10-foot, 12-foot alligators on the side of the road, and I've seen idiots get out of their car and walk up to them. Yeah. And so I get near them, I'll drive up in the car, but I don't get out of the car. Take a picture out the windshield. Okay, we're at Flat Gap now. Some quicksand here. I think I'll take a couple pictures.